It's 2025. It means a new year of collecting is upon us. What do you hope gets released for the G.I. Joe Classified line? Let's go over my list right now on Action Figure Wishlist. Okay, so every year I like to sit down and go through all the lines I collect and do a wish list. You know, the stuff I hope will get announced at some point in time throughout the year and preferably released. So today we're going to do the G.I. Joe Classifieds. One of the big lines I collect. I love the G.I. Joe Classified line. I'm an 80s kid. G.I. Joe was a very big part of us growing up. And the classic figures are just killer. Had to do a little rework because last night I'm sitting on my couch recording this on New Year's Day, 2025. Last night was New Year's Eve. And my buddy Chad hits me up. He's like, hey, did you see these? And there are some leaks that came out. User online. He's credited here in the watermarks. Released what is probably prototypes for the next retro wave. And yeah, I'm a little taken back because I had to rework my whole list because my number 4 and 5 were on there. So again, let's go through it. So my number 4, what was my number 4? We have the retro carded Fling. This thing is going to be an absolute stunner. I guarantee it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I like the Fling figure that came out. It's not bad. It's just, it was, I don't know. And the Tiger Force 1 sucked. Let's go over that. I did not like the Tiger Force 1 at all. So, a retro Flint. It looks like a fully retooled body. This thing is awesome. It's a figure I didn't have growing up. Always wanted one. He's a staple. He's G.I. Joe mainstay. I can't wait to get one and throw him next to Duke on the card. I'm very, very excited. Next up was my original number 5 was a CoverGirl retro figure. Thing about CoverGirl, number 1, always also, you know, with Hasbro's better than most companies with the female figures, but it's very rare we get a female. Even though the G.I. Joe line has a pretty good mix of them, and they have been generous with the female figures, I think, compared to stuff like McFarlane or stuff like that. So CoverGirl Retro is a big win because when the original CoverGirl came out, it was during the Dark Ages when Hasbro felt the need to punish in-box collectors and take away our windows. I hated it. It was the worst. So I have one upstairs. I don't even know if there's actually a figure in it because who knows? People were cutting them out, taping them back up, returning them. It looks sealed, but God only knows, right? There could be, you know, a pack of crayons in it for all I know. So a retro carded CoverGirl that I can see. The accessories look gorgeous. Very excited for this figure. I will be all over pre-ordering this one when it comes out. Next up, another former exclusive, the Televiper. So I believe Televiper was pulse only. Don't quote me on that, but it was like $60. Sold out very quickly, and I'm not paying aftermarket prices for one. So he doesn't have the pod. I have a Tiger Force Televiper pod. It sucks. It's ugly, but the pod itself was pretty nice. So if anyone knows how to paint them or knows someone that does paint them, let me know. You know, drop me a comment. So now we have a retro Televiper, so we can army build them. No retro pod, but that's fine. You know, it's a very nice figure. This is what I had as a kid, so I'm excited to get hold of this. And then last up, and this is kind of cool, it looks like we're getting an army builder. Just a standard G.I. Joe infantry soldier. From the looks of the picture, I would imagine the two heads, you're going to get a Caucasian and African-American head you can pop on and off. But again, it looks kind of like what Grunt looked like in the original line. Just your standard dude. So I'm very excited for that. So that's a cool twist. Very rarely do you get army builders for the good guys. You know, traditionally army builders are things like Cobra Troopers, Cobra Officers, Televipers, things like that, Stormtroopers in Star Wars. So very rarely do you get an army builder for the good guys. Okay, so with that, I had to rework my list a bit, so things got added to the list, which is, you know, is what it is, but that's cool because it gives me more things to hope for this year. So, my number 5 wish list for the G.I. Classified series. And I will differentiate how I want them, whether I want them classified or whether I want them as retro. My number 5 is mainframe. During the day, I am an IT professional. That's what I do for work. I'm a server admin. So mainframe's kind of right, you know, in the wheelhouse for me. This figure needs to go to the standard classified line because he needs a serious retool. I'm not saying a retro mainframe would not be a very sought after, gorgeous figure. It would. However, when you talk about people that could use the classified update, mainframe's probably right at the top. He does not need a giant handy computer on a backpack like he had back in the day. So you could redo him. Tablets, possibly some cool little like drone that's like a internet hotspot or something like that. You know, a satellite, maybe, I don't know, something very easy to redo. You know, handheld computer, Apple Watch kind of thing, all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and get mainframe reworked, retooled, and let's get him out there in the classified line. Okay, number 4. This one's kind of like a sentimental hit. So my number 4 is Crazy Legs. Now, anyone who's classified, probably, dude, we just got a Crazy Legs. He came in the Dragonfly. That he did, and I do have one of those. It's in the box, so I haven't opened it yet. But it's Night Force Crazy Legs. I don't want that one. I want the red one. So when my little brother was born in 1987, I was being a pain in the ass at the hospital, I guess. So my grandfather took me to Child World, which was a toy store we had up here in the Northeast, and I believe they were in the Midwest. Child World, hot take, far superior to Toys R Us back in the 80s. So in 1987, he took me to Child World. The new wave came out, and I grabbed Crazy Legs. I was very, very... I remember the texture on his suit was kind of cool, the way they did that. So he was a paratrooper, and, you know, I made a parachute for him, stuff like that. You know, we had these old toys in the 80s where it's just a plastic dude with a parachute on him. Took one of those off. He had a full parachute. I had to fly wearing everywhere. Wore the thing out to the nub. Wore him down. These were my favorite G.I. Joes. O-ring popped. Parts fell off. Whatever. I just used them as scrap. So, and my little brother passed away about 5 years ago now. I was on the hunt for one. I wanted a Crazy Legs. I didn't care if it was open or not. And I just happened to walk into my LCS one day, and in their display case was a retro carded Crazy Legs. And not only a retro carded Crazy Legs, it's hard to see, but this thing has a Child World price sticker on it, $279. And you know, it's a local store. It's down the street from where Child World used to be. So I like to think that this was the figure that was on the peg right behind the one I bought in 1987. So it's a little memento to my brother who's passed away. Figure means a lot to me. I would love a retro one. I know they have to repaint. They can't just repaint the Night Force because it's a different suit. At least it seems that way. So it's a retool, but you have the head mold, etc. Give me my retro Crazy Legs, please, Hasbro. Okay, number 3, Heat Viper. Another figure that I go way back with. Back when I was a kid. I had a handful of Joes. I mean, I had a buddy who had more means. He was an only child. He had a ton of them, and we used to play G.I. Joe all the time. He was also an absolute prick, and he'd only let me use Tunnel Rat and the Heat Vipers, basically, while he used, you know, Shipwreck and Sergeant Slaughter and Beachhead and all this stuff. So, I'm used to running, you know, 4 Heat Vipers deep. So, I want the classic yellow and purple Heat Viper. I want it on a retro card. I think they did like a Cobra Force or something like that later on. The original one came out in, I want to say 89. That's the one I want with the yellow one. Number 2, since Hasbro is in the mode of giving us hard to find stuff on retro cards, they just did Dr. Mindbender. I can only imagine Serpentor is next. So, Serpentor, if you don't know, was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive a few years ago. Very expensive if you want him aftermarket. He did come with his, you know, his glider. A retro one would not come with the glider. I don't care. I just want the figure. I've never had one as a kid. I have one upstairs on the shelf. It's sealed. I do want one to open, so I would rather have a retro card figure for $25 without a glider than pay the astronomical prices on the secondary market to get myself one to open. So, Serpentor, do it up. Okay, so the number 1 wish list figure for G.I. Joe Classified. Again, another strange one because most people probably want every version of Snake Eyes and every Cobra Trooper, etc. I want my favorite G.I. Joe, which is Salvo. Salvo came out in 1990, so I was 8 years old when he came out. I remember getting him probably right about that time. And he was just cool, man. He was cool. Looked like an army guy, camo pants, gigantic 8-pack rocket launcher on his shoulder, and what was the the chef's kiss when I was a child, a removable helmet. If your figures had removable helmets, I instantly fell in love. Mask, Visionaries, all that kind of stuff with the helmets that came off were amazing. Salvo had a dope removable helmet. So again, it'd be a great thing for me. Probably not so much for the bottom line because I don't know who else would buy it. But They did do a 25th anniversary update for him, I believe, red and black. It was okay. That one will probably go into the classified line, but I just want the classic one, the original brown and camo. And please, for the love of all that is holy, Hasbro, do not make him $45 just because he has a large weapon. I can't keep doing this. I need 2 of everything. $90 for road pigs. I can't do it for everything, but please, God, give me Salvo. I want Salvo. So again, everyone, thank you for checking us out. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe, notification bell down there. Know when we do new videos. If you're into movies, interviews with stars, streaming shows, etc., check out wearecritics.com. My boy Clep has everything on lockdown for you. Trailer reactions, out-of-theater reviews, etc. What figure are you looking forward to this year? What G.I. Joe do you want to come out? Leave it in the comments. And come on back, because we're going to do a bunch of lines about this this month as far as what's coming out. So this is the first. We're going to try to hit everything I collect. So again, leave your favorite G.I. Joe down below. And let's hope for a very, very prosperous year for G.I.s and Classifieds. This has been Colette's Podcast. Again, thank you so much and have a good one. Happy hunting, everybody.